So I spent today trying to learn how to add blocks into Minecraft. Now, the learning resources, I've said this in my last video, are just terrible. They're all over the place. They're a little bit hard to follow. And hang on, let me just turn this okay, that worked. Let me just turn the music down. Yeah, the learning resources are a bit tricky to navigate, but you will eventually find it. It only took me about an hour to work out, and I'll show you how I did it. So this is kind of what I've got. I just turned the sound down, which is going to be a problem. I'll turn it up and turn the music down. So you can hear endstone texture, but with a different type of sound. It is a custom block that I've added. And I'll show you how I did that. What I'll do is, this is what I've got here, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete everything out of this and then start from scratch. Yeah, let's just close that off. Delete that. Delete that too. Now I only learned how. Okay, that's thrown up a couple of errors. Where are the errors coming from? Don't make me re-record this video. I don't want to have to record videos twice again. Nah, there's no errors. It's just screwing with me. All right. So the aim of our learning intention is to add a new block in. I found a couple different learning resources, but this is the one that helped the most. It's nicely laid out. It's just in mapping and modding. It's near the top of it. Good work, Logibo. Yeah, good work. It made it so much easier to follow. It's obviously for 1.7.2 custom block. So the first thing we want to do is, I found a lot of tutorials would suggest to make a new class, which that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to call it Summers block, and then we want to extend onto extends block. We'll create the constructor. Okay, we've got to import that, so Control Shift no, yeah, that. Yeah, and add the constructor. Oh, that just created a whole bunch of crazy stuff. M. Now, public. I don't think it really matters if it's protected or public. I think protected you can still get. I can't remember. We'll just make it public. Now, a lot of tutorials recommended creating the block in here. So we'll create the block. So we'll add the, we've already got the import there. So public block Summers block. Actually, not block. Let's rename that to a capital S. And then go Summers block, and then let's just call it SB. Now we'll call it Summers block. We won't initialize it. We'll initialize it down in here in the pre-initialization. Summers block equals new Summers block, and we've got to pass a material. So we don't have materials, but we'll just go materials dot. Okay, let's import materials so we can get that IntelliSense happening. Oh, we already do have materials. Material dot. Okay, let's call it ground grass. So you can create your own materials. I think materials just set a whole bunch of basic parameters. God, I had the web page up before what it was. Maybe we can go I was hoping the constructor list would come up. No, we won't go into that. I was hoping that there'll be some hints in the constructor arguments. Okay, so that there. A lot of learning resources suggested to chain things, to chain all your things. I don't like doing that. It makes it look messy, and I'd rather just do it in the constructor here, at least for now. Also, for the fact that you can just go this dot, and it'll come up with IntelliSense with all your different things. So a couple things we want to do is, see, he uses chaining right here. Set block name, set creative tab, and register the block. So yeah, we can set the block name. So this is mostly so you can go into the localization file and then use this name to set the actual localized name. I'm not going to do any localization stuff right now because let's just focus on adding the block first. We want to set the creative tab, set creative tab. I'm just going to set it to I can't remember what it's called. Creative tab dot tabs dot. Yeah, there we go. Tab transport. I'm just going to set it to transport because it's a tab that doesn't have much in it, so it's very easy to find which block is yours. This dot. What else can we add? We can do the sound. So set hardness. That's an interesting one. Let's go 4. I think that might be right. I think it'll take 4 hits to break it. Although we're going to be in creative mode, so it's not going to matter at all. This dot set. We want to set the sound, so the breaking sound. Set step sound. Now it says step sound, but I don't exactly know what that means. Let's go glass. Okay, so all the sound types happen to be in the block class itself. That's an interesting thing to observe. Now we don't need to go this. I'm just using this to pull up the menu. Okay, and all we have to do now is just game registry dot register. So just register the block. So Summers block, and we'll give it a name. I'm not that sure what the difference between this name is and the name that you set it in here. I'm just going to use the same value though. I misspelled it. How did I misspell Summers? Okay, that's right. And if we play that, we will get some errors. No, yes, no, what? Errors is existing. Okay, what errors do we have? Let's do some. I did this last time as well. I forgot to add that semicolon, that terminator. Oh, we've still got Minecraft running. This is going to be interesting because I've still got my old block. Summers mod, tile Summers mod name. I wonder if this is the same block. Well, we can prove if it's the same block or the old block. See, because I had, at the start of this ep, I had the a block already in there, and it had been saved into the world. But we'll just check if that's, we'll just make sure that that block that was in the world is the same block. We can just go sound type, here we go, this dot sound type. Let's go gravel. We'll just leave this. This will just prove that that was that block that that we've added just now. After this, we'll do textures. I'll add a single texture to it, so not multiple textures, just a single texture. That's all I've learnt so far. Although I don't. Okay, so this should sound like gravel. Okay, it does. Oh, look at that. Sounds like gravel too when you step on it. Okay, so that's good. So you can see that our block doesn't have a texture. So we'll add a texture. Now, to add a texture, let's find a texture first. That's you can find a texture just by going app data. Let's just pull a texture from Minecraft already. Assets. Hang on. If you go into versions, just any version, open up the jar. Textures, blocks, cool. So we've got all sorts of different blocks. Let's go. I went endstone last time. Let's go. I shouldn't really spend too much time on this. Let's go ladder because that'll be an interesting texture to use for a block. Okay, so we've got a texture. We could edit the texture if we really wanted to. Let's just leave it like that. So now, where do you put this texture in your where do you put it? Where do you keep it? And how do you add it? Okay, it's pretty easy. On here, sorry, we want to go block texture. So it says assets. So you want to create a new package in Eclipse called assets, your mod name, textures, and items. Now, I'm going to purposely make a little mistake here, and I'll show you how I fixed it. A little thing that I ran into. So, but I won't say just yet. I'll do the same mistake I did before. Assets, summers, and I'll show you how I fixed it. Summers mod dot textures dot blocks. Now you have to have this exact folder structure, because that's how Minecraft is going to look for these textures, or Forge, or whatever works this out is going to look for them. So let's finish that. Now you can then put your texture in that folder. So let's just drag it in, make a copy. I don't know what the difference between that there and that there, the two different icons. Maybe, hang on, let's try it. Maybe it's just because one doesn't contain a class. Yeah, it's because it doesn't contain a class, so it's an empty package. Cool. We solved that video on that little issue on camera just now. All right, cool. So now all we have to do is just set the texture. So set block, okay, because I need the menu. This dot set block texture name. Now the way to do this is that you mod ID, which is essentially that there, semicolon texture block, tutorial block, or your texture's name. So it was mod ID, or that. So summers mod, and then we had ladder. No .png, just that. And if we play it, and we've got errors because I missed the semicolon again. I've been programming for like 10 years, and I still forget to hit semicolon at the end of things. Although I've been using Lua quite a bit recently, and Lua doesn't require semicolons at the end of things. Okay, so that didn't work. I knew that wasn't going to work. And the way I found out is Summers mod. Using missing texture, unable to load Summers mod textures blocks later. Summers mod, it took away the capitalization of it. I found that quite interesting. You have to name everything lowercase. But that's how I figured that out. If we refactor it, Summers mod. Okay, it's going to be a pain in the ass. I don't know why it's not allowing me to rename it, but we can easily just delete the package and re-add it. New package. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't. I forgot what you had to call it. It has to be called assets. That's it. Assets dot Summers mod, all lowercase dot textures dot blocks. Finish. Add the ladder. Copy. Now if we play it, hopefully we don't get any errors. Cool. So we added our block. It's got a ladder texture on it. It looks kind of interesting. It's got a gravel sound to it. So yeah, so that's how you add blocks with single textures. Next episode, I'll probably do multiple textures. Any other things I can mention in this? I find this an interesting way to organize files, but then again, I don't come from a Java background, so I don't really know what packages are and how the workflow is with them. Summers mod, and I find having in the constructor better, but that's just because I'm learning at the moment and I want things to make more sense than make them easier, where chaining them might seem a lot cleaner and easier to do, and there's probably benefits, but at this stage I'm just learning how to do things, and I'd rather have things nice and neat. Sweet. Any questions, please post in the comments. On my last video I had no comments, but then again I just started this. I had 11 views though. This is my first series, so any questions you post or any comments I'll try and address, or at least I'll go over to this, go back to the episode and read the comments out and create some discussion. Comment, subscribe, share, like, whatever.